Hi everyone, today I'd like to talk about preparing for a recital or a concert a week or two before the concert date. When I was in college, my professor used to make me and my friends perform for each other about 2 weeks before the concert date. And he wouldn't allow us to play in anything until we actually play through the pieces for each other. And then one of the things he said was that when you are playing a concert, you can become so nervous that you start feeling everything, you start seeing everything, you start to imagining things because you're just so nervous. I have played a concert where I actually I started noticing certain weight of the keys on the piano. I was like, oh, what's going on? So I got very distracted, first of all. And I think because I was getting nervous too, and then I have played in concert where I remember when I was very young. I remember this until today. So I remember when I was young, I went to a chamber music camp called Apple Hill in New Hampshire. I was about 14, 15. I was the youngest person there, so that made me already nervous. And there were amazing musicians at the camp. Camp in the middle of New Hampshire, beautiful pianos in little cabins. It was pretty awesome. But for one of the recitals that we all had to play, I remember going up to the piano with my partner. It's a chamber music camp. I remember going up to the piano, and then I remember bowing at the end. I don't remember playing through the music. I was so nervous. I was thinking like, oh my God, these people, they're so much older than me. They have so much more experience. It's not gonna go well. So, yeah. So the only reason I know I played a song in that concert. It was the Mozart duet in D major. I think the sonata. It was because of the recording. It was made afterward. And the second piece I played was with a violinist, Ave Maria by Schubert. And again, the only reason I remember is because of the recording. I don't remember actually playing those two things. So you have situations like that. So it's very important to know the pieces well, of course. And playing for your friends and families or whoever before your concert or your recital, I think is very, very important. It definitely makes you nervous, and it helps to bring up all the weak parts in the music, the parts that you don't know, and so you can be prepared for the actual concert. Recently, I had a student playing in a recital. She's actually very talented. This student is great, very talented. She also has a lot of physical ability. Her hands move beautifully on the piano, and I don't have to do much to help her with that part of it. So she played a recital in the middle of the song. It was a song that keeps repeating, and when it repeats, it's not a variation where things will be added and changed. This one changes very little bit, and every time it repeats, a little bit change, and sometimes it doesn't change, and so that gets very confusing. Right in the middle of the song, she kind of forgot the part, and because she's such a talented kid, she actually kept going, and she says she improvised, but she did improvise a little bit, but she made it very musical. So I'm very proud of her on that part. But and then a few days later, she came for a lesson, and I told her, after that concert, you're gonna play that piece perfectly now. And I think she didn't believe me, so she sat down. By the way, she was very nervous at that concert. So she sat down, she played the piece, and she played it perfectly through. And as a teacher, I just sat there and I was laughing. I was like, oh my God, I love to be right, of course, but it was she had to like force herself to make mistakes to feel normal. I think by that point, but yeah, this student is very very talented, and so it's um, I think it was just a memory slip in the middle of the concert. She was so nervous, and so yeah, and then there was one instance where I played a ballade by Chopin, and I remember. So there are two parts to it, and I remember this was in New York City, with pretty big concert at the school, and all the pianists were there and everything. I remember playing it, and I remember repeating it. I'm not supposed to repeat the first part, because the second part is almost exactly the same. It's just moved up two keys. So memory slipped. I didn't practice before. And my teacher told me to practice. I said, I'll be fine. I know the piece pretty well by that point. But again, because I was so nervous, I couldn't. I was nervous and distracted at the time. I was thinking, oh God, they're looking at me. Uh, Here's the hard part coming up. And so I repeated the first part, and I was horrified. I definitely, it helped me to focus for the rest of the concert for sure. But yeah, so and then another thing, my teacher, after that experience, I definitely did what he told me to do, practice before the actual concert. One of the techniques that he taught me to do, which was very helpful, and I'm teaching my student now, is actually visualizing the environment, everything about the environment. So you're not surprised. You show up to the room and you're like, oh my God, there's a piano there. So obviously there's a piano there. But especially with rooms that you already play in before, and so the visualization um, part is close your eyes and imagining. This is like a week or two before the actual concert. Imagining that the whole concert, you imagine the piano, the audience, and just slowly look around the room in your head with your eyes closed, of course, and imagine yourself walking to the piano, sitting down, and play the first note in your head, and imagine what it would sound like. That really helped me. Not to say that it stopped my nervousness at all. That didn't do any of that, but at least it helped me to prepare. And so when from that time on, from school, when I was at school until now, every time I have to play in a concert or something, I always visualize the environment, everything about it,